this meeting about? How come I wasn't at this meeting?
We are on.
Stand for the pledge, please.
To the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
No, we almost lost Peter already.
You move so fast, 1 minute, the next
5
minute.
o'clock, we are sharp. All right, so we got our addition for I.
No, I didn't get any, what additions? Oh, for I, yeah. I got that.
I, yeah.
Okay, got it, thank you.
All right, no public be heard. Okay, so we'll go right to the approval of the minutes from May 30th, 2025.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of the special meeting held on May 30th, 2025.
A second.
Discussion. Peter, that was our special meeting to close out the books. It lasted about
10 minutes.
2 minutes.
Oh,
We needed 3 board members, that's all, so we were good. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
No opposed, carried. And next is minutes for June 3rd.
I make a motion to approve the minutes for the regular board meeting held on June 3rd, 2025.
I'll second it.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, carried, thank you. All right, parks, no Stacy. Scotty, that grass doing okay around the playground? Looked like you took the stuff.
We took the tape down this morning.
Okay. I've got the project engineers looking at that. I don't like those swells where they have the drainage has got so much water in there with kids.
Yeah,
So
stagnant water.
we're looking at, see the other ones, they're all filled in with, I don't know what they put in there, some kind of aquatic plants.
Grass and so, yeah.
Yeah, well, the problem is the lake's so high that, there's like 3 foot of water in there.
Plus there might be a breeding ground for mosquitoes. too.
Well,
Oh, definitely.
Yeah,
Mosquitoes are gonna be terrible this year.
We have
Yeah, I think they're gonna be,
right now.
they're not roped off, correct, Scotty?
So, no.
Because you have
Not
an
another
infant,
hook top.
you have a little kid falls in there, it's 3 foot of water,
I know, it's terrible, it's deep,
it's gonna drown.
yeah.
Here, pump it
Yeah, I don't
out.
know if we wanna, I'll take a look at them again, maybe, I don't really wanna rope them off with,
Well, we still got the tape up, don't we, for the grass?
We took it down this
took
morning.
it down,
Oh, that's so good.
but maybe a little something different than police tape, because it doesn't look very nice.
Are those part of our SWIP's plan for the water, or is that just part of the design?
It's-
Where we could fill them in, then we don't have the issue?
No,
I gotta tell you the truth, I don't understand why they're there.
they
Why
did it
they
on
even
the-
put them in there.
They did on the other side too, I think it's because of the water table. So
We-
it doesn't flood in there, because over by, if you look at the event center, we have what, 3 of them? 1, 2, yeah, same thing. It's a mechanism to get the water, so when the lake rises, the water will backflow to the lake, but the
But
lake's
the
so
ones
high,
at
it
the,
won't.
but the ones at the event center have plants on the,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, it's not intuitive to think that you're gonna go, kids are kids, they're gonna,
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, that's the first thing you want to do is play in the water. But, I mean, we
Realize
have
it's
a
that high.
huge, we have a 43-mile catch basin. I don't understand why I just don't understand it, I guess.
Travis is looking at it, so we'll keep you updated.
And what about the poor bird nest?
Oh, the killdeer,
Is that what that is?
yeah. They'll survive, it survived last
On the
year.
ground.
Yeah.
They just laid their eggs on the ground.
Yeah.
A lot of birds.
I got the picture over here.
Yeah, they're more concerned about that snake.
Snake?
That snake was
I
awesome.
tried finding the picture of that, the one that was a bunch of them, like the 5-foot black snake.
I have it, I'll send it to you.
At the Clue Park?
It
Oh,
was at the pier, wasn't it? No, the food park, not
By
the
the-
dog park.
yeah.
Ooh,
It was a
wow.
lot of feed sheds, a bunch of snakes.
Sure.
Yeah, but they're not poisonous, I mean, they're not.
One of them South African.
I am not a snake person.
I'm not a big snake guy.
Well, I wanna go
As long
down,
as I see him, I'm okay.
I wanna go down and see it.
Well, you go right ahead.
Pick it up, take it with you.
All right, let's see what else we got here. All right, how about you, Scotty? You got a lot going on.
We're all caught up, the sweeper, we're taking that back tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'm only
the streets look great.
Yeah, well.
We're getting it earlier next year.
I set up for the grinder to come in the fall. He's gonna let me know, but he'll be here in the fall to grind the pile again.
It costs us 10 grand every time he comes.
It's like 8 last time, yeah.
8, I think it was last.
Can't we just burn it?
I'd like to.
It'd be a heck of a bonfire.
Get the fire department down there,
To burn out?
burn it.
To burn out?
The wood piles, all the brush and stuff.
Thanks for everybody's help for waterfront. I think I got every department. Everything went good. All right.
I
How
got
about you,
just-
Dennis? What, Peter?
I got just one question.
Yep.
Do we, because Stacy's not here, but, do we have somebody clean the bathrooms at the camp park on the weekends?
Yes.
'Cause I got a phone call, I don't know, what was it, Saturday afternoon, Sunday morning, something. They said the bathrooms were a mess. So,
In the campground?
in the campground.
We have-
Stacy just brought on a new person, so
Yeah.
that should pick up as far as
Yeah,
getting
we
things.
just hired somebody for that.
Did we spruce that up all this spring? Did we paint anything, or did we do anything in there? We did nothing.
No, because we got a plan.
We have a plan? Okay. Tear it down?
No.
But I just emailed you earlier too about what we talked about earlier.
Oh, okay, yeah, I got that, I saw it, thanks.
Have it, so-
All right, Dennis?
I just received a phone call the other day, it looks like 900 Porter Street is going to be sold. And the new contractor, contacted me about what needs to be done there.
Is that Warden?
Bowers.
Bauer.
Okay, that was here.
Oh. Is that the gray house? Down on, what, you said 4th Street?
No, quarter.
It's,
Oh, sorry,
Garrett
Porter.
Ransom.
Oh,
Garrett
oh,
The guy that
oh,
was here,
Ransom.
Sorry, I'm thinking about the one over here. Yes, I talked to him too.
Yeah, so he's going to do what he has to do to fix that up. From what I understand. Had a lot of complaints about tall grass. Need to look at next steps for Lakeview, 216 Lakeview, to start the process on that building.
Yep, get with Dave Healy. He responded on that.
307th Street property has several property maintenance violations. I need to talk to Dave on that, about the parents' ticket for that property as well. She's pretty much boarded up the house because she put couches and things like that in front of the doors.
Yeah, the neighbors are up in arms.
Yeah, several neighbors up and down about what's going on over there. So, 114 Old Corning Road has a new permit with some conditions on it, to get some information, within 30 days. Just mainly about the grading that needs to be done up there, and how they protect the sewer, the plumbing lines, which are exposed outside of the building from Runslow. The Walmart refrigeration project permit has been issued, and that should start pretty soon. That's about a $1.3 million job.
And they have a parking lot. Yeah, I was gonna say, they have a permit for that parking lot, correct?
According to what I read, they don't need a permit for the parking lot because it's a maintenance issue that they have, that they do they're required to do every so many years.
And so I hope it's gonna include the entrance, because it's horrible.
I talked to them about the entrance on that, and I told them that that's their responsibility as well. They do know that, so.
It blows out every year. And
Yes.
it's bad, they just threw that plate on there, which,
They will be reorientating the parking spaces to be 60 degrees instead of 90 degrees.
oh,
It will cut down on a few parking spots, but they're way over the limit for the line that's required anyways. So it's gonna just make for easier pull in and pull out there, so.
Wait, Dick, then, so when a commercial business takes their lot down to the sub-base, they don't have to have a re-permit?
As far as I know, no.
Oh, okay. Wow.
As far as what I know.
Well, it'd be an improvement, but they gotta do that entrance.
Yeah, I hope they do that. That's a treat.
So they figure the 60-degree angle is easier to park in than the 90?
Yes. So as you come in,
It's not intuitive at all.
that's how they put it on their plans.
Well, instead of going like that, you're only, yeah.
It's hard enough with those handicap spots when they have them pull in, and then the people that are behind them, I always worry they're gonna get hit. Okay.
Next zoning board meeting, there's gonna be an application for sign variance for Verizon. They want to put a sign on the roof of the subway. That's coming up. Walmart also submitted a building plan to go to the planning board for about 5,000 square foot addition. I mentioned the refrigeration project.
Yeah, you said we knew that before, I just wonder, so they doing the refrigeration first?
They should be starting that soon. What they're doing is they're adding a condenser and replacing all of the freezer units throughout the deli in the meat section and all the way down to the dairy section, so everything will be pretty well there.
What's the new addition for, did they say?
Yeah, the new addition is for the pickup and delivery area.
Because they do so much of it, it's unbelievable.
You can't go down the
There's
aisles.
more room to start stacking orders and things like that. So they're gonna put 5,000 square foot. If you're looking at the building, I believe it's gonna be on the right-hand side of the building, where the pickup area kind of sort of is already.
Wow.
Yeah, it's amazing how much, I mean, every time you go in there, you see those aisles packed with people filling them up.
Hey, you can't even get through half the time.
So there's still one stop order, work order still in place. Just waiting for them to submit their permit application, and that's for 124 East 4th Street. So I have all the information on what's going to be done there, and just waiting on that stuff.
Is that the one with the big hole in the back there?
No, it's the
No.
one right here.
The brick one,
Next to us.
Right
Oh,
next to the
well, I used to
laundry.
have that.
the laundry room right across.
What's wrong with that? What's going on with that?
Well, they're different.
It's been going on for a long time.
Still learning the software programs and cloud commit, still working on that. Still working on a violations list to give the cloud commit. Entering information into the registration for vacant buildings, and I'm reading that log and make sure I get that down. And last week I attended training on strong tie information and energy code training. And in 2026, I just found out that all new construction in New York will be all electric. Will be no longer gas.
What?
How do they think that we're gonna, we don't have the infrastructure for it, right, Tommy?
No,
Oh, man.
I was gonna say, does anybody?
Can I go back to the abandoned building thing? Anything on that 14th Street? It's
Yeah,
on,
we wanna initiate,
I think it's one, what is it? Let me shoot.
we're initiating this
Okay.
process.
Okay.
We're trying to get through a couple of these first. And then we'll-
Right, okay, yeah, I understand. It's,
As I go around town, I'm gonna start jotting down which ones are vacant, which ones aren't. Just on Bass Street, there's one up on Howard Street.
but that one's not really vacant, but I think there's a lot of animals there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's vacant.
They actually, the pigeons are a problem, but, my neighbor actually has a camera on their garage, and there was a coyote passing through.
Oh dear,
Like about a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago.
I saw
Yeah,
it.
did you see that? That
On
was between
Facebook, yeah.
my house and,
Somebody
Yeah, that
posted
was-
it on Facebook.
yeah, it was my
Right.
neighbor.
I spoke to the owner of that a couple of months ago, I haven't seen either hair ever since.
Yeah.
No, we gotta start the process.
It was a nice house at one point.
Yep. All right, thanks,
Yeah,
Dennis.
thank you.
Tommy?
Nothing new, we just had to repair the metering station, the roof on Castle, we were pouring that off and insulating the house. We don't go in there very often, when they was in there checking the, recalibrating the meter, they said there's a huge hole in the roof. We fixed that, that problem.
We did
You
talk,
cutting that big tree down? Are you guys cutting that big tree down? Who's,
on Cass Road?
Oh,
no, right down, right,
where Pike used to live?
yeah.
Oh, no,
Dead end,
that was
huge tree.
that was a
Stevie cut.
contractor.
Yeah, we haven't, unless it's a dead tree, it's very hazardous, we're not cutting into it now.
That's a huge.
Yeah, it was a contractor because he had the road shut off on Friday. I don't know who it
Again,
was.
on Monday, too, Monday morning it was too.
Where was this at? Where
Yeah,
was
he
it?
actually,
Down by the fire
he was
department.
putting his big lift in there, he clipped the
Stevie
service
Compton.
line, ready to go fix that.
Oh,
Across the street.
yeah, okay.
Right across from Steve Compey's.
Right.
Yep, down the barrel.
Cool,
I'm gonna
man.
bring up
Huge
the,
silver maple.
Holy cow.
that mess over by Walmart that I got a couple calls on. Remember the one right at the corner, the shit hasn't been
Well, he
picked
had
up
two
yet?
of the big three limbs that were hanging
Say
over
something.
the house.
Told him 3
I,
times.
for some reason, I thought I saw you got something.
We were there fixing the problem, so we hit the service wire, but we're not cutting trees.
That's a heck of a tree. Holy cow.
Tommy, are the bases just replacements for the light bulbs?
Yeah, they're for the new
They're
light.
for the new light.
I just figured we'd wait until fall at this point now. No point in tearing up any grass for the summer.
Thanks, Tommy.
So do we need to discuss the purchase of the additional electric?
No,
Oh, the
we're not ready yet.
TCCs?
We'll have a proposal.
Oh, we have to do a
Yeah.
proposal?
From what we all understand, we think we should just go ahead with the full, we don't wanna get into the same mess we got
Yeah,
into.
that's all we can.
Yeah, that, the mistake was that we didn't purchase all of it, we went like half of what they
Yeah,
offered.
we never really had the
I didn't see that.
research and everything. But it looks like we're usually a winter peaking month
Mhm.
in New York, but because we're going 100% electric in the next couple of years, we're gonna be a summer peaking month, so electric is gonna be sky high everywhere. So, I'd say purchase as much as we can.
Purchase max
The
out.
max, yeah, 6 and 2.
Yeah.
So Fred will bring that to, on the board to, we have to approve it.
Okay.
And we did talk to Tommy about that replacement pole by Walmart you asked about, where cones and stuff are still there.
Oh, yeah, and there's.
Right when you turn in, I've got a couple of calls on it, actually.
Yeah, we gotta get that cleaned up, and we actually left the butt of the pole there, we stuffed it behind the stone. We wanna plant that in like more of a bollard to protect, for when big trucks go in there, I'd rather them rub a temporary pole instead of taking out half the building again. We'll probably get to it next week, we're just looking to drive a little bit so we can get in Cargill's lot there and not area the truck, and not block off traffic.
It's so bad.
Yeah, everything's just unbelievable. All right, no joint waste bar. How about you, Ethan, how are things going?
Good. Busy, continuing to be busy with summer months. Our night guy relayed to me that he can't write tickets anymore because his presence in issuing of many tickets in a couple spots, it seemed to work. So I told him that's also happened.
Yeah, it gets the word out, doesn't it?
What's that?
It gets the word out.
Yeah, so, and, you know, all the cars went slow in the early morning traffic hours, so that's a good thing for the night shift. I had something else here I was gonna bring up too. Oh, the parking system, at what point do we wanna put out an application process or job description for parking
Yeah,
enforcement?
I have it on my list for board concerns.
Okay.
I just need to get their support and then we'll start it.
Okay, and then we also did receive a federal grant issued by the state for a new patrol vehicle.
Right.
We're in the process of kind of officially finalizing that, accepting that, and, figuring out how to go from there, what to do from there. I just was figuring I'd relay that to you guys as well. Just another grant that we received, as well as we waiting to hear back on some others.
Was that the 45,000?
45,000, yes.
That's great.
And that would cover the full vehicle costs except for,
With utilizing some of that LE grant that we think we have like 10 grand left, that would finish upfitting anything that would be needed. We also currently have an extra laptop, or excuse me, a in-car camera, we've got an extra brand new radar unit, we've got that extra printer brand new already. So we've got everything ready to upfit another patrol car. We just got to figure out what we're going to do with when to accept it, how to officially accept it, or more approval of it.
Was that Officer DeLoya wrote that?
He's been doing a lot of grants, and he is doing very well with grant stuff, and I think at this point, he's gotten us nearly $300,000 in grant money already.
Great,
In less than a year.
great.
And he's got like 3 or 4 pending currently as well, so, for another lots.
Yeah, he's working on 150,000 for something, I can't remember, but he's busy.
Chevy.
Yeah, the grants are cool. They're
Can we get him to write something?
Takes time and effort to,
I know what you're gonna say.
Fire department?
For the fire department?
yeah, I mean, it takes some time, some effort, but, he puts in a couple hours a day here and there on them, and gets them applied for, my approval, and to work on some things and some numbers, and we've gotten a handful of them, and I'll guarantee you get a couple more that are being very useful.
Great.
Including, we put in for a side-by-side one similar to the fire department, so that would be a brand new side-by-side for the village and us to utilize as well for nothing. Whereas I think they go for like 40 grand for theirs, they pay for, but, so they're not cheap, but.
No, no.
So,
Great, thank you. All right, motion for all department reports?
I got one more question.
Oh, you okay?
So, have we got any movement from the Tops parking lot people about their down streetlights?
I don't know anything
about
about
it.
the street.
It'd be Dennis.
So the one is still laying on the ground. I mean, they moved it out of the driveway pretty much, but it's
is that
still
the one
laying.
down right near Fairgrounds?
Yeah.
That's been there for probably 2 or 3 years.
I was gonna
Has
say.
it been there that long?
Has it been that long?
It's been there a couple of years.
I think that's the second
Oh,
one.
it's
The other,
another one, okay, sorry.
yeah, I think that's the second one. The first one was on Franklin.
Yes.
So there's like a couple on Franklin, and there's that one that's still laying in the grass.
Dennis has got to get after him. That's a
There's a
code.
stop sign too. I mean, you do have one up, but it's like this tall.
That's what we put over there.
Yeah.
It's in the flower bed now.
They don't have to legally put one up.
Oh, really?
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
And it's not a street, so it's not ours.
Yeah.
It's dangerous. A
Yeah.
lot.
From our perspective, yeah, it's just like driving out of a driveway, you don't have to have one come out of your driveway.
Yeah.
Same type of thing, even though it's, that location would be nice to have one there.
Miraculously enough, I don't think there's been any accidents or anything like that.
That's a tough intersection though, because you got to come up that knoll before you can look to the north.
I think most of the people that use it though, they're like regulars so that they know they have to, that they have to stop.
Okay, now take a motion to accept all department reports, please.
Go ahead, Bob.
I make a motion to accept all motions or department reports.
I'll second it. Oh, go ahead,
And
Peter.
just to add on to, real quick, the hit and run that happened down at Fairgrounds 2 weeks ago, I believe it was, involving our local business owner there. We are still investigating that, with waiting for some evidence to come back to the state police department, but that is still a process of making arrests on that situation.
Yeah, I just got word today that he came home today.
Did he? That's,
Wow.
I did not hear that, so that's.
Me either, because I last I heard he wasn't.
He's
Yeah.
been slowly but surely.
He's a strong guy.
Yeah, he's in good
Glad to
shape.
hear that. But yeah, so that is also, the investigation's ongoing with that. We're waiting for some crime lab evidence to be returned for, to move forward.
Okay. All right.
So we motion, but didn't
Yep.
final.
All in favor?
All right.
Right.
Opposed, carried. Now we're on to voting items. A, grant permission to turn the town's teal.
I'll make a motion to grant permission for the Turn the Town's Teal campaign supporting ovarian cancer awareness, whereas teal ribbons will be placed throughout the village for the month of September.
I'll second that.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Carried, thank you. All right, next, it's our ice maker that we desperately need for the community center.
That will break down over there?
Oh, yeah, it's finally done.
Oh, yeah.
That thing's been a mess.
We've had that thing forever.
I make a motion to approve the purchase of a commercial ice maker for the community center from Home Depot for $2,539.
I'll second it.
Discussion?
I think you should perhaps revise it, because didn't Stacy write a note that it may go up, so should we put a cap on
The-
it?
I was gonna look at it.
For Home Depot, the price of 2,539 is actually the regular full price. It's actually on sale right now for 1,600, but the sale's probably over with by now because it was a Father's Day sale.
The 1,700 one?
Yeah, so the 2,539 was,
All right, so that's the Supermax?
that was the regular price.
Okay. Sorry, Pete.
I mean, if they don't go there, then it might be expensive somewhere else, but if it's still available, that's the high price.
But it's the cheapest out of the three.
It's-
So
yeah.
It's good you got three quotes.
$100 is cheap.
I hope it's still on sale. Since I
Well,
remember.
you don't need the ice bin, all you need is the top.
Yeah,
Well, yeah, but I mean,
I know, but I'm
As long
just
as they
saying.
fit.
The bottom of ours is leaching right now.
oh yeah, that's,
Oh,
that
that's
thing.
The part where it drains, the water went between the plastic and the steel.
Yeah.
It's all molded.
oh yeah,
Yeah,
it's
we've had
ordered.
it
So use that.
What's that?
Use the one over there then.
Yeah, it's little. It won't hold up to,
Yeah,
like,
that's,
if you have a banquet
the center,
over.
we only have one this big.
What?
The community center,
Yeah, the one that's
Huge,
community center,
yeah.
is the big,
Big one.
that's the one that died.
Yeah.
can't fix it.
No, they had.
This is our third time trying to repair it, it's finally
It's
just.
20 years old.
Yeah. That was enough.
It doesn't cost us anything, that's for sure.
Very, doesn't know.
It doesn't owe us anything, I mean.
Know anything.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, carried. Next is our skid steer that was budgeted for the new year.
I make a motion to approve the purchase of a skid steer from Monroe Tractor for the Streets Department in the amount of $45,786.44 to be financed over 3 years at $16,456.40 per year.
I'll second it.
Discussion.
What other quotes did we get?
We didn't, we went with Monroe Tractor under the state contract, which is what we normally do for equipment.
Well, that's fine, we should still,
We're not required to if they're state contract.
They
we're
bid this
required
out.
as a municipality, it's the best price.
Well, are they
They can, I have a couple that are straight comparisons, one's like 49, the other one's 60 something, but they're not,
All different, it depends on what.
$5,000.
Keep going. Oh,
yeah. Yeah, we have a list of all the different, like case and
we know the
Tractor.
Caterpillar.
cat, and we have, I think, yeah. I do have a couple downstairs, they're not exact comparisons, that's the problem, is none of it is exactly the same.
Well, you're looking at a 280 series.
Mhm.
So if you're looking at a cat, you want something like a 324. If you're looking at a John Deere, or a cat, you're gonna look at a 272.
Yeah.
If you're looking at a John Deere, you're looking at 320.
Yeah, we usually go with case, the reason why we've been with Monroe Tractor, and I mean, you could speak on this, but is because of the long-term relationships we have with them and the way that they service us and the way they come out and save money on repairs and things like that.
What if they come out and save this money on the cat?
Well, a lot of times if I have an issue, I can call their mechanic right on his cell phone, and he'll walk me through problems right on the phone, so I don't want them to commit.
That's fine, I mean, most of your companies will do that. But, so we don't have a second and third quote on, like, your top three skidsters in the industry right now are Bobcat's number one, which you have, that only has 1,300 hours on it. How old is that machine?
It's 9 years old.
9 years old, so we use it 130 hours a year. And
So we're doing this to follow along with our strategy of trading things in while we can still get the maximum value out
There's
of it.
1,300 hours on it.
But the warranties,
Industry standard.
warranties run out at 2,000.
Yeah,
So you're more than halfway through your,
So you have a 2,000-hour warranty on this?
no, some of the warranties that we read, when they promote on it, they say that your warranty's out at 2,000 hours.
Yeah, that's fine, but usually you rotate out a machine like that at 5,000 hours.
Well, we used to do it at 200 hours.
Rotate the machine out?
Yes, because you get paid more than what we buy them for.
200 hours
It's nothing.
is a year. You're rotating out a machine every year?
Every 2 years we used to.
Yeah, and we're getting a huge trade-in, aren't we?
Yeah, they're giving us a really good trade now.
What do we need it for at 130 hours a year? That's not even, we're using the machine.
I think it comes
If you take
in,
it out at 52 weeks, we're using it, what, a few hours?
and you
And
use it,
what do you need it for, Scott?
Well, we sweep the streets with it. When we're on a water dig, that's how we load our trucks up. We auger holes with it. We jackhammer with it.
Does all your attachments fit?
Yes. They all switch over. Right now, our Bobcat has a wiring issue in it, so every once in a while, we have to pull fuses, put them back in and get it to run.
yeah, 9 years it's past its.
It's not on a machine like that. Not for the hours.
If it's breaking down, it's not worth it.
It's not breaking down.
He just told you it was.
Why are we just hearing about the machine breaking down now all the time?
Not just hearing about it.
Okay.
Not to go back, but the ice machine still is on sale. One more day, 9 hours.
Run downstairs.
So we better get it tomorrow.
But we don't know what the cost of a Bobcat or a Cat or a John Deere or another unit is. We didn't bother to get that pricing.
I have two quotes downstairs, one's 49 and one's 60 something. So I don't know,
That's the OGS state pricing?
Yeah.
yes.
What ones really, Fred?
Was it Cat and
Yeah,
John?
168.
That doesn't sound like the OGS price.
Well, it is. I can send you.
I don't remember what the other one was. Was it John Deere?
No, the Bobcat.
No, what was the other
I'm
one?
waiting on John Deere. I've
Ah.
called them twice.
I have two of them.
Yeah, I'm waiting to hear back from them. They haven't returned my call.
Other discussion? All in favor?
Aye?
Aye.
Steven?
Opposed.
One opposed, motion's carried, thank you. Next, approve purchase 2 zero-turn mowers, also budgeted for, one for cemetery, one for buildings and grounds.
Okay, I make a motion to approve the purchase of 2 zero-turn mowers from the Southern Finger Lakes Equipment LLC at a cost of $14,999 each, one for cemetery and the other for buildings and grounds.
A second.
Discussion.
Yeah, so we have a newer Kubota down at the wastewater treatment plant. We were talking about, why wouldn't we have our buildings and grounds crew take over the mowing there and can't do that?
Oh, goodness.
That's a long story. That site is overseen by a separate board, which I think you all know, called the JPC. Those funds are designated out of a very separate budget that's overseen by a separate board. So, could we do shared services? Absolutely. I wouldn't disagree if we did. However, it is what it is at this point.
Yeah, I just didn't know if there was any movement in it. So, I guess it's sort of right in there.
Yeah.
What other, I mean, that seems high. What is that at 13?
Fair's 3,300.
So these are state bid, which
Yep.
means that they went out and
So-
got multiple quotes.
Yeah, what other ones did you get?
We don't do the work they do, so,
Who does?
who'd you get it from again? It was,
I've got one from,
but this
CJ's.
this came
but
from the
it's
county,
all
or?
different. It's not a Ferris.
No, but I mean, the state bid, who was, who's?
Kenny Thurston, the
Kenny
county
Thurston,
does
yeah,
them.
the county does it, I'm sorry, I couldn't remember who it was.
Shirt tail off down.
Right,
I mean, that seems high for a 3300 series.
About 15,000?
Yeah. What,
So what does that mean, 3,300? So what does that mean?
that's like a,
That's the series.
yeah, so
Yeah, I know,
that's like
but-
a 31 to a 40 horsepower unit.
How big's the deck?
60.
Depends. So, do you guys have, did you talk to like Kubota and John Deere? They
I
have,
did not talk to Kubota, and the reason I didn't go to somebody other than Ferris is because we have, everything else is Ferris. We have all the blades, all that. In the right is a total different from a Ferris from any other piece of equipment out there.
yeah. I mean, blades are 25
understand
to
that,
28 bucks each, so. And you can get them, you can sharpen them. So that nobody else had better pricing?
Not out of Ferris.
But there's other units out there that are comparable.
Yes. I mean, I don't have one today, Steve, but if you wanna hold off on it, I'll get them and hand them in.
Well, I wish we'd like look at the comparable machines and see, all right, hey, this one's at 15,000, so the Ferris is better. It's not that I don't want you to have equipment, it's just the pricing just seems a little off, Scott.
Well, the reason I went with the Ferris is number one, the ride control. And number two, that's all our equipment for mowers is our Ferrises, so all the parts we have will interchange. Like I said, we can table it and I'll get 3 more quotes.
we didn't set, this isn't prices that come from you though, just so we're clear, this comes from a cooperative bid that's done through the county.
Right.
Right, and all, so if you called up all these businesses that sell these zero turns, that are commercial zero turns, they all have OGS price.
But this is not related to OGS, this is entirely different as far as,
That's what it says, state bid
State
611-20.
bid.
Part of your OGS price.
yeah. But, yeah, okay. But I'm just saying, if you got the contract from Southern Finger Lakes of what they went out and actually did the state bid and went through the process of procurement, I'm not sure that it's tied directly to the OSG rates. It
So
could
if
be
you go to
they
any
got-
Ferris dealer, it's gonna be the same price for that piece of equipment.
Yep. Yep. Same with Kubota, John Deere, Toro. Yep.
But are they gonna hold up like the Ferris do?
I think we've had Ferris since I worked for the village. That was eons ago.
So what you're saying, in your opinion, Ferris holds up better than John Deere or Kubota or all that, or something that just?
I'm saying the Ferris has the suspension under them, so like when you're up in the cemetery, when you're going up the hills and everything else, the suspension's there for the Ferris, so you aren't bouncing all over and making a mess. Is what I'm
Or
saying.
tipping. Or tipping. All right, so the question is, have we fulfilled our procurement?
Yes.
Other,
Yep, you're piggybacking off of this contract. So as far as procurement, you're fine.
For that
So-
specific machine, but we're not presenting like, hey, Here's-
Right, I mean,
here's
it's,
200
it's just
grand.
like anything else, you could shop ice machines and get
And she did,
10,000
she got
different
3
ones.
quotes,
Yeah, I did, but.
or you did, whoever.
So you feel more comfortable if we had more quotes? Is that what
That's
you're-
just my opinion.
That's
You
what you're
guys,
saying.
it's,
Well,
It
I,
says 3 coats.
what?
Pre-written proposal.
I just don't know why we wouldn't
From
have
3,000.
quotes of like, all right, here's a comparable machine that's gonna do the same job that has suspension, whether it's on the body or the
Most
seat.
of them are on the seat.
Right.
So my question to you is, so when you go up in that cemetery up there, going up the side hill, how is that seat suspension helping that deck?
Your deck floats. Oh, the decks float.
Well, I mean, I don't know price comparison, but I certainly want you to have the safest equipment.
Well, then the equipment that lasts the longest also. I think you gotta look at it like
Well,
that.
they get
too.
beat, yeah.
That's what I mean. True. I mean, I'm sure you can come up with 5 different ones that are cheaper, but are they gonna last like this one's gonna last?
How often do we turn them around, Scotty? I know that we haven't been really good about that in the past.
We used to, when Don Perry was here, we did it every 3 years.
3 years, we do it every 2 here, 2 there, and rotate them. And what we buy them for, is state bid, and send them to the auction up in Elmira. We make money on them every year. And we buy the first initial vehicle, or lower state price, 2 years later, we were getting more than it was worth, buying another vehicle for free.
So that's,
And when,
that's like even worse if we did that. So we're gonna pay potentially more money for a machine, it's gonna get rotated out in a year or 2 anyway.
Or
But you're getting your money back for it.
The way they rotate.
and they haven't
You're
been,
making more, so you,
So they're breaking even, basically. That's how it was working when we were doing it.
wait, you're saying when
We
you
buy
set
the
it
state
up?
price,
Yep.
use it for 2 years, and we took it to the auction, we'd make money to pay for another mower, and we'd net zero.
So-
break even.
You pay 14.9 for this, you take it to Palmyra and you get 14.9 right now?
At least.
At least.
If you look at Google right now, that mower's going for over 20 grand. Not a state bid price. First 3,300 between 18 and 20 grand.
That's MSRP.
Yes, when you went to buy it,
Right, but that's
and that's what contractors
MSRP.
went to
and-
the auction, and they're paying for a used price, for we're getting the state bid price.
Right, MSRP, dude. Then they take out the incentives.
All right, further discussion.
Well, I know nothing about these lawnmowers, number one, so I feel like it's hard for me to make it would be hard for me to vote on this. Because,
No, it's just yay or nay, it doesn't matter. You can't be.
Yeah,
I don't wanna
you can
vote
oppose
against it,
you
but
can-
can I abstain? Because I don't know enough about this stuff.
You can.
And would everybody feel more comfortable if they did get other quotes, or, I don't,
I mean, I trust Scotty, I don't.
I mean, I'm not saying I don't trust you guys. I'm not saying that at all. I
I
just,
don't think I trust you very much, Scott, but it's just the point that we're not presenting 2 other quotes of 2 different other machines that are very comparable to this. That's the only thing that.
is it something that we need like right away? I mean, because it's something that we could present 2 more quotes and then, and vote on the
We
next,
can table it.
yeah, table it or
Yes, we
something?
do need them right away.
Well,
The other
oh,
thing well, the tariffs are gonna hit, so the longer we wait,
oh, that's true, I didn't think about
the more the
that.
price is gonna go up.
You're talking
Yeah.
about comparing, I mean,
It's gotta be apples to apples.
that's what I mean.
Right.
You're not going.
What do you mean you're not gonna find?
Well, I mean, you're not gonna find the exact copy of a Ferris anywhere, or you're not gonna find the exact copy of a. right.
Absolutely not.
Because Ferris is a really good.
But we have a
product.
history of the Ferris here in the village.
Yeah.
I think that's the point that they're trying to
No
make.
different than.
And you guys
when you
like
Go buy a
those.
F-150, the comparison to that is a Chevy Sierra 1500. The comparison to that is the GMC 1500. That's a 1500 series.
All right, I'm gonna, ask for a vote, and then we'll see how it comes out, and otherwise we'll wait. So, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. You say yay?
I'm abstaining, because I just feel like I don't know enough about it. I just-
No, and it's not about the equipment, it's just getting what's the best price for the village.
So you have 3 one abstain, and Steve is,
No.
It's not about getting you the equipment, Scott, I just think we should see a price on other equipment, so.
The motion's carried.
Carrie?
All right, next, we have member applications for the fire hall, 1, 2, 3 of them. I don't know if
I'll
my-
make a motion to approve, oh, do we want to do all, no, we want to do them one at a time, right?
It doesn't matter.
Oh.
You can do them all at once, or I'll,
yeah, you could do them all at once if you want. I don't run them in there because I don't know if that's how you guys want to do them or not,
I
but
think we should, maybe we should
But
do
we
them one at a
certainly could.
time, but, because there are different times, so maybe we should do them one at a
well,
time.
I'll give you an explanation of that.
All right, so I'll make a motion to approve the member application for use of the village fire hall by Dominic Smith for baby shower on 8/23/25 from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Glad I'm not invited to that
I'll
baby
second.
shower.
All right, Peter, second.
Oh, my God.
All right, discussion. So I did talk to Charlie. He said they put the full gamut of time just because they're gonna set up. He's not allowing anything in the fire department later than 6 p.m. With that being said, we're gonna talk about the boat class, but, and the normal, these type of requests, anything over 6 o'clock is a no. So I asked him about it this morning. I was like, why so long on the time? And he just, the whole time that was allowed.
Yeah.
All right, all in favor?
What, we didn't second, no one seconded, I don't think.
yeah,
Peter did.
Peter did.
Oh, did he? Okay.
Everyone, yay?
Yeah, and, yes.
No opposed, carried, thank you. All right, then the other two are for the boat class and CPR class.
Okay, so do we have to do this first before we talk about it?
What's
Yes,
the
Yes.
boat class?
you have to get the motion out there.
And approve, make a motion to approve the member application for use of the village fire hall by Anthony Neves for a boat class on 6/23 and 6/24 from 5 to 9 p.m.
I'll second it.
All right, so this is the county boating class for the fire department, could be our police department, county police officers and boating officers. If there's any extra room, they'll allow the public in, but otherwise it's just for that group of individuals.
So I didn't realize
So
that
let's
we,
get the license,
Yeah, they
so
do,
you can
they,
go on the lake.
Yeah.
yeah,
so I didn't realize that we did this for training.
yeah.
You have to now, I
Mhm.
think. Well,
Yeah, we
yeah,
do.
the law is effective this year.
Oh, there's a law?
No, I think he means in general, having the trainings come through us. Is
Oh,
that what
okay.
you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, they're supposed, if they're gonna use the building, they're supposed to ask.
Even if it's for fire training?
Well, if they're doing like their own training where they're going out, like every Monday night kind of training, no.
Oh,
But if it's any other usage for other groups, they have to. And so Anthony is a fireman, but he's also in charge of the county water, what do they call it?
water risk?
Marine.
Yeah,
Oh, marine.
with
Oh.
Lee Titus.
So this will be other police agencies coming to
I think it's what
participate.
what Charlie explained was, or was it Jason, I can't remember, no, it's Charlie. It's mostly the county, and, I mean, I don't think our guys are,
You're talking about for the boater safety course?
yeah, well, it's, because it's required now, but they have,
They have to have it too, though.
Yeah, everybody does.
Yeah.
Yeah, it might be just for their team of guys, I guess, where they're all, make sure all the guys are certified in boater safety.
What says 15? Number of attendees, 15.
but he called ahead because he wanted to make sure they could advertise it for the public, because if there's spots available, because they want it to be full, then they're gonna let the public in, and I did mine online, but. Okay,
So you have to do this before you drive a boat?
Yeah.
Now you do.
Everybody
Anybody
does.
any age by New York State law now this year.
it's actually a really good law.
Can't even go on a jet ski.
Yeah.
Really?
You get yeah.
So anything that's motorized?
Any motorized watercraft.
Motorized. All
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
No opposed, carried. Next is the Fire hall use for CPR.
I make a motion to approve the member application for use of the village fire hall by Anthony Neves for a CPR class on 6/26
And 6/27, I did not write that in.
and 6/27/2025 from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m.
I'll second it.
So this is an annual training that they do, and Anthony always does it. Again, if there's extra spaces, we will open it up, but that fills up pretty fast.
This is not the same class that Stacy's has the lifeguards doing over there, is it?
It could be.
Because I swear she told me 6:20. That's one reason I was asking, because I told Giuseppe.
Yeah, it's 6:20 for us.
Okay, that's what I told
They might
Giuseppe,
be
so I
doing a
just want to make sure
separate
I gave him the right
one
info. Huh?
Maybe they're doing a separate one
Okay.
just for the
I
lifeguards.
just want to make sure I didn't give him the wrong info.
Yeah. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
No opposed, carried. All right, next is a sewer credit.
I'll make a motion to approve the sewer credit to village or motel in the amount of $1,565.
I'll second it.
Okay, so between Megan, Wade, Fred, Barb, me, we've all been over to see Angie. Tell us what questions they have, because there's the pink slip attached to the request, that's Barb's.
Calculation.
Yeah, and so how it's normally done is it's an average based on usage. I think the question to the board is the average right in this case? So if you read her letter, I think we knew that she had a leak, but she had a bigger issue than we thought. What a mess.
Yeah, so they go off an average, that's how she comes up with what we can, and then that was during her closing months, like she was actually closed, so it shouldn't have been any activity, so that's why the average and basically what they want is the entire sewer credit is pretty close. But she had a bunch of leaks, and there's no really telling, that's the tough part. I mean, she puts the pictures in there, unfortunately, they're not very good.
They're not.
But she did
It looks like some
confirm that
kind of art
they
or
did find
something.
leaks, they clearly didn't go down the sewer.
Yeah, and Wade and Megan went down there. I was not about to, but it went in their little tunnel thing under there.
And it wasn't during her
Didn't go in the
closing
sewer.
time, so, or period of time, so I guess she,
Yeah, I mean, I would argue that it should be the full credit. I don't understand how the average, that doesn't make sense to me when you're looking at averages in this case, because she was closed.
so they went back to the activity. So typically during the season when they're closed, there's no real activity. So Barb goes back to whenever they had like the first 3 months of a regular activity. So then she goes off of that. So that's usually how she comes out to an average or whatever. So in this case,
That's how we normally would.
she would have went back to when she had regular business, which was these 40, 50, and 40 units. And she came up with that, which would,
So Angie's asking for 1503.
she wants the whole thing, and the whole thing would be 1503.
And Barb came up with a calculation of 1365.
And
Okay.
that's what we do. We don't normally always credit 100%. We just go off of what you commonly
Yeah,
use.
well, it's pretty close.
It is actually, they came up pretty close. But it's, again, we don't have a rule on it. This is what we always do, though. We go by the average.
Like past practice.
So, yeah, but I mean, we don't actually have anything written in the sewer, but this is, how it's calculated, so.
But it didn't go in the sewer, right?
Right.
Just need to go over.
Correct.
So,
$138 difference.
Nobody knows where the water went, so I don't,
It went down that,
she had a mess.
like, it's the basement,
Yeah,
basically.
the basement. Yeah.
Tunnel. I call it a tunnel. Crawl space, yeah.
Oh,
Creepy.
sorry, it's
She wasn't going down there either. Wade went right down there.
Ugh.
So you can either, it qualifies, I mean, we don't really have.
Qualifies under the law. We don't have the calculation written in the law, so that's board interpretation, I would say.
So the 1365 is what we would do on a regular basis. And
and she's saying 143, we're saying 130, is what you're saying, right?
what we're saying, yeah, 130. You have to count for the fact that she had leaky running toilets and whatnot, so there's definitely stuff that went down the sewer, but it's a little hard to argue what did and what
Yeah.
didn't.
I think that's a fair price.
I think the 1365 is a pretty good deal.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
I mean, I think that's pretty fair.
I-
Because who knows how long it leaked?
Yeah. Good point, John.
I mean,
It's-
it might have been leaking before she shut the thing down.
Could have been. All right, all in favor for 1365?
Aye.
Aye.
No opposed, carried. Okay, now we have the addition, which was to approve the transfer of the F-250, correct?
Yes.
The,
Yeah, the green truck.
I make a motion to approve the transfer of the JPC F-250 to the Collections Department for $7,500.
I second it.
Discussion.
We just bought this last year for 75.
no, this is
Can
that
you
green truck that
explain-
Hack's drive
Can you explain
around.
what we're doing?
Yeah.
We're
Did you look back? We argued over this last year.
Terry surplused it, but we never did anything with
Right,
it.
we never did it.
Yeah, he said he was gonna sell it for like 10 grand, is what he
Then
originally
he said 8 grand.
7,500.
Or was it
Then he
75?
then he said, the last meeting was,
We
let me
made
tell
a
you,
motion, we had to.
14,000.
vote on it.
I can go back and look and see.
we never did it though. I mean, we might have voted on it because we did discuss it, but it never happened.
Yeah, we definitely didn't transfer any money, but if I can certainly go back, it would be in the records. So,
Yeah, so
I don't
basi-
mind going back and look, trust me, because Noe and I went back forever on this, and they went all the way
we've
back
gone
to
back
the
and
old
forth.
sewer plant, and
So why this is different, I'll just explain a little bit, than we're normally, like in Tommy's case, because we're gonna move a truck from electric to street, we just move it.
Right.
Why this is different is because that JPC, this is what I said earlier, so that board and
It's a
that,
different-
the
yeah.
finances of that are
Separate.
separate than the normal financial administration by this board, so it's a joint, so that we had to, in our JPC meeting yesterday, discuss it as that board and then decide what to do, and so that board decided, and Montour will do the same thing, it'll come to Montour, and they'll have their own discussion like this, of the 7,500. I think what you remember is that Terry, I thought it was 8,000, but maybe it was 7,500. He would do that, not bring that to the JPC, it has to go to JPC. So anything like that, he did not have the independence to do that. So it might have happened, but we never transferred it.
I'll go back and look. I'll be able to find it. I just know Noe and I went all the way back to the sewer plant purchase of the whole well. I still don't understand that part of it, how it went to I don't remember who got it, but then sold it back to us.
Yeah, oh,
That part I didn't
we don't have
understand.
enough time tonight to talk about that.
Where'd they come up with the value? Because that's the value they put on it a year ago, and now it's depreciated again.
Well, they said 14,000, then he said 8,000, and then so we looked it up from an auction perspective.
What year is it?
It's a,
I don't know, I'll have to pull it.
18?
I don't remember.
You know, Scotty?
The green
You
truck?
got your list with
That's
you?
like a 2000.
Yeah,
I do.
It's an old vehicle.
I think it's retired a lot of.
Oh, is that,
How much
is
did they
that
buy
all?
it for off the village originally?
I have to pull those records out again, I can't remember. It was like 10
Throw
grand.
into the JCB.
Yeah, Tommy people drove it.
Well, we found the paperwork on it where remember from, I'm forgetting their name.
That's what I mean, when it was sold to the plant, you mean?
Mhm.
Yeah, I still don't understand how that works, but apparently all the certain amount of equipment was bought or controlled or turned over to,
Yeah, 'cause it was at the village plant at the end of the lake.
Yeah.
When the plant opened, they bought stuff off the village. folks.
yeah, but then, and then the new plant bought it from them. Like, they almost put it into holding, you know what I mean? Like,
But
I don't
we have
know
a
why or
We have a
how.
receipt.
I don't have any background other than I just found the numbers, the transfer. I was like, what? So I don't understand how it happened or what it meant. So, but we can't find anything from that point, so I don't know.
Right.
It hasn't changed hands from the joint plant to,
So 2014?
or whatever we want to call it.
It's a 2011.
11.
We already bought it, and then
Sold it and tried to buy it back.
Well, the
That sounds like
sewer
the school
department,
district.
before the plant existed,
Right.
owned it, and then
wait a
the
minute.
plant bought it from.
yeah, which was owned by the village of Watkins Glen.
Well, the plant was a joint it's owned by
At the head of the lake?
yes, that was the village, and then they, I don't know what we want to call that anymore, but it's the plant.
That,
JPC.
down to this plant?
Yes,
Well, that's a
that,
village of Watkins Glen asset.
Well,
Yes,
but they bought it.
they bought it,
From
yeah.
the village of Watkins Glen, the JPC did.
yeah.
So they paid, because we actually have the receipt, I think I have it on my desk.
Now they want to sell it back to us.
Right.
Yeah.
And that, when they purchased it, I believe that's where that $14,000 number was.
I don't remember. I just
So
know
it's
it's
a 2010, and we're gonna pay 7,500 for it.
Which is the auction.
Right, okay. I don't know anything about the rates for vehicles, so. I just wanted to get my things straight.
You're saying,
Is it
I'm
worth
sorry,
it? Is it worth
I
it?
just want to follow, you're saying we bought this as a JPC for 14 grand back in
It was 5 years ago.
The project did, under the grant money and all that.
five or 6 years ago, we only paid $14,000 for the vehicle. Now we want to sell it 5 years later, back to us for $7,500. Just seems crazy.
Well, I don't disagree with you, but it's the board oversight of that plant, and so it's very specific, and so, because I argued, I called the comptroller's office, and they said, nope, you don't have to transfer any money, you can just, like we do these other vehicles, you can just move it. You find it?
Yeah. What do you want to know?
Nothing, I just wondered.
Oh.
So if they
it's-
said we
it's
can
the-
just move it, no problem we're doing this.
Which one was it, Pete? It's like,
What do you mean?
So I just want to make sure. I
What
got
the
it
comptroller's office said is that we don't have to charge, because we already paid for it, like we've been arguing. Like, for example, Tommy's got a truck, as soon as he gets his new truck,
straight. You can transfer it out of the streets,
right,
right. But
Yeah,
this one, we're
without
tra-
exchanging any money, because it's within.
we don't have to do the money,
yeah.
but the plant wants.
we don't have to do the money thing, but the plant wants to do the money thing, is that?
Because it's a separate entity.
Yes, because
Oh,
that, they have their
then
own
that was
separate
your
committee.
board that you met with yesterday that wants to do it.
Yes.
Right,
Right, okay,
Separate.
now I got it straight in my head.
that's correct. And normally, I would argue that we shouldn't have to transfer, we've already paid for them once, twice, 3 times.
So we're paying them for something that we don't have to, or?
Well, again, the oversight of that plant comes from that board, which is, and then the way the agreement reads, and then whatever the request is, whatever the decision is by that board, it comes to the individual boards.
And that was a
Montour and
decision
Watkins.
that board made yesterday,
Mm-hmm.
okay.
So I told them to bring it forward.
So we don't really have a choice. Doesn't really-
We
this
could
is-
turn it down, it's going to pass anyway.
If we turn it down, they're just gonna send it to the auction.
And then Nick will drive the ambulance around town.
Is there anything left of the truck?
What's the ambulance,
Is it
What's the ambulance?
$7,500?
Fred?
Which one is it?
It's a green one.
I'd say
Yeah.
5 or 6 grand.
But this truck,
I think we
which
just
is a
table it.
2014, is,
What'd you say?
I think we table it.
I agree.
I mean, I gotta, it's gotta go to Montour, and they may say the same thing. So I'm just looking at an outstanding F-250, outstanding value, 5846. Average, 4965.
So is this the,
And Lori, I'm pretty sure, it's up,
Which one was
I'm
it?
guessing at this point, but I thought a year ago, we were saying 7,500, we were all sitting here arguing, like, wait a minute, we already paid for this.
We did.
But I get what you're saying, it's because it's another entity, but the
No.
value is just, seems.
Which one was it?
so that's what I'm trying to find out. So is it the 2011 Ford F-250 Super
5 grand's
Duty?
all it's worth, is that what you just got?
I wouldn't, if I was to buy that truck outright, I wouldn't bid more than 5 grand.
Or is it the 2014
Yeah, it said average of
F250
Well, we don't have to do a motion,
Super
we just
Cab?
table this.
We
It's the
table
F-
it,
the
yeah.
2014?
11.
And that's from the water department.
Why
Oh, that's
table?
water, I'm sorry, yeah.
Okay,
What?
so wait a minute.
So you think it's 2011 Ford, one right here.
But
so
why
the-
table
That's
it?
Is it
buildings and grounds.
F-350?
Yeah.
Okay, so it was originally bought for $37,715, originally. And that was on 11/22/2010.
15 years.
But either way, right now, we're voting on to pay $2,500 more than what it's even worth, according to
Right. So we
So,
can,
yes, I know.
I was recommending
well, we
we
can
table
table it or we can deny it. And then I can go back.
What
to
happens
my
if we
tour.
deny it? Yeah.
Yeah, tell them we'll give them $4,000 for it. $2,000, yeah.
They're gonna look at it, and I mean, I agree, but I'm just letting you know how they work. They're gonna say it's gonna go to auctions and what they can get from it, blah, blah.
Well, they only get 5 if it goes to auction.
Yeah, then we'll spend $20,000.
That depends, the board may say, I mean, it depends, there's two of you and 2 of them, and
I'm just wondering if we can just counter it, guys. 4,000.
Think about this, really.
Well, okay, so what's the procedure? Do we have to vote it down first and then counter, or, okay?
Yeah, we just turned.
All right.
They have to vote it down, then I go back to Montour and see what they're gonna do and tell him what we did and the reason why. And then, depending on what they do, then we'll go back to JPC. Because JPC is Peter and me and
John and,
John and
whatever's that.
Jody.
Who's Jody?
Jody Saunders. Okay,
All right, so,
all in favor? Opposed?
aye, opposed.
All right,
so all opposed.
opposed. Whew, geez.
For a piece of truck.
All right, let's see, we have an audit from June 13th.
Make a motion to approve the general audit dated June 13th, 2025 for a total amount of $246,087.89.
I'll second that. Oops, go ahead.
All in favor?
Aye.
No opposed? Carried. All right, a couple of updates. We have village paving on here. Is that you, Scotty?
Yeah, what we were talking about was the final decision is that, Michael from Larson sent the email back saying that the best guess he could say is the majority of those streets are gonna be affected, but anywhere from 2 to 3 years from now. So the village, basically, you have to decide, is it worth doing that 109, that, what was this, for the seal coating, or what, I don't remember what they call it. Yes. Is it worth it when they're gonna tear up the roads in 2 to 3 years, or not? And so just that's what you guys gotta decide on. Do they go forward?
10 roads on there?
Yeah, roughly.
How many are they saying are down?
All except for
He said
2.
all but 2.
But some of the roads, if we don't do something now, we're gonna start back at bare dirt.
That's what I remember you saying.
Well, North Glen's got to be one of them.
Yeah. And Michael he didn't say either way, he just said it's a hard guess, because he said, I can't really,
Could be
he said
longer.
it could be further from now. If things don't go the way planned, it could be 3-4 years from now.
Here's the list if anybody wants to look at it.
So, but he just said, he gave us his best advice, and that was it, you know, that we know the streets are going to be affected, and that means that the grant would then pay for that repair. But that, you know, they're gonna,
The only plus now we're doing it is with the CHIPS money, 5 to 7 years with the cave sealing, and then we can use CHIPS again. So
Right.
if they're saying 2 to 3 years, you're halfway there.
Well, Scott, wait, so they're gonna rip the road up, but part of the package is they replace it?
They
Yes.
replace what they tear out.
yeah. So what they were saying was the only concern is how residents would feel after they saw you pave it, and then 2 years from now you ripped it up, and they're gonna be saying, why are you guys doing that?
Yeah.
But it's part of the project, and the project is gonna replace it. So-
Well, the other thing is, we're assuming 2 to 3 years. It could be longer. It depends on how much money we got.
So the cut of the sword is, if we don't do this, there's 3 roads there's 8 roads in 3 years.
They're gonna be shot.
They're
Yeah.
going to be worse.
It's gonna be in
than
worse
they are now.
shape. I mean, North Glen's a perfect example. Most of it lives on it.
So how far away are we from actually taking the road down the grade and doing it right so the curbs are back to where they're supposed to be? I mean, is there
The
anything in
roads that
the,
we're looking at this year don't really have any curves. I mean, some of them gone at like the 6th and 5th, they do. But to take them down, I mean, for the roads we're doing, we're only gonna bring them up at half an inch. We aren't taking them down.
so when do you think, is there gonna come a time where we're gonna have to do that?
Yes.
When do you think that might be? Is that something that we can do, incorporate that with the water project? I mean, if they're tearing the roads up. I mean, how can we make this all?
It all
They
depends
may
on
do
where
that.
they underline.
It depends
They can
on-
underline in the middle of that road.
Right, like use McGee as an example. It was built in as part of the project. We brought it all down, made it all nice, took out the trees, put in the curb. You know, we'll go for gusto with the project, but it just really is gonna depend on what that budget comes in on. I mean, we put in as much as we could, as you know, and with the understanding that we're gonna have to scale back, because you never get as much money as you think. Plus, things are gonna be that much more expensive.
Yeah, I was gonna say, everything's gonna be, just like everything.
So what you're saying, it's really better to go ahead with
They're gonna
the
fix it
plan
anyways. They're
of
gonna tear it up.
My
Because-
suggestion would be to go ahead so you don't lose your road.
Yeah.
Okay,
I think so.
all
That's
right,
my suggestion.
okay.
Yeah,
I
and
trust-
we've
I
got
trust your
CHIPS money
judgment.
for it, we've got it budgeted, so.
Oh, okay.
It's
All right.
already been
So-
approved by you guys,
Yeah.
it's just a matter of, we just wanted to make sure that you were okay with it, and so we checked with Mike and Larson about all that, and Larson just said, most of those roads are gonna be affected, so it's your choice.
And you said you did a grading, Lori, like so these are the top tier worst.
They're the worst roads in the village
Yeah.
this year.
They could be even worse in 2 or 3 years. They would be even worse in
Yeah,
2 or
like
3
you
years.
said, we don't do it.
Like a perfect
Yeah,
example
I
is
see.
Lakeview.
Yeah.
Like Lori said, it might be 3 years, depends on where the money comes.
Oh, I see, go ahead with that.
If you guys wanna read the email, I can send it to you real quick.
All right.
Well, so we're not really voting on it, we're just discussing.
No, it's-
it.
Well,
It's
yeah, it's
already
just a
been
discussion,
voted on, yeah.
it's approved unless you guys decide right now you wanna say, hey, never mind, then you can tell.
Keep going, I say
I
keep
think we
going.
gotta
I think,
We gotta do
go
it.
for it.
I
Yeah,
think
we
we just
got-
move forward.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
Lori made a good point. This could take 3 years,
Yeah.
4.
It's never what you think it is.
Yeah,
All right, you good,
Okay.
Scotty? All right, another quick update, it's not finished, but I'll be bringing it back. During the JPC, we discussed, I think most of you know this, so when we built that wastewater treatment plant, the agreement was initially that 70% of Watkins residents pay for the plant and 30% of Montour, and then over time, there's a analysis here of a switch, and that was gonna move, we're gonna move towards flow, actual flow. So the projection is that we're about at 52% and Montour's at 48, so we'll bring back to you, we had a lot of discussion about how this should work and the timing of it and such, so that basically our residents would not be paying as much and Montour's gonna pay more. And it's only fair,
Yeah,
flow's the flow,
yeah.
and that was the
20% could be a lot.
yeah, so more to come on that, just wanted to update you. On the Romeo property, that's moving, that'll come back through a resolution. That purchase agreement was just signed today, so we'll talk more about that. Two things, I wanted input on board meetings for July and August. So the 1st of July, I'm not here, I'm out that week. It's tough on the staff. And did we do it last year? I know we looked it up.
The truth,
Is that what we
the
did?
truth is, if we don't have board meetings, I would still do the payables and put them
Right.
through, and then I'll just bring them to you the time, but payables are a regular thing we do all the
Payables are
time.
the biggest thing.
We just
yeah.
wouldn't bring anything else, so you would just have a heavier plate when the time comes. Sometimes you didn't, when you guys are, when everything's gone and quiet, a lot of times, I think last year, we didn't have much when we came back. But we did only do, during the entire summer, we only had one, I think it was July,
July,
we only
yeah.
did one.
Didn't we do 1 in 1, 1 in July, 1 in August?
I thought it was August, but we did 2 in August, and we looked it up, yes.
I was thinking the same thing.
I thought,
I thought we had 2. We had 2 months where we only had 1 meeting.
Me too.
no, you, yeah, it was pretty-
Yeah, I looked it up yesterday, because I thought the same thing. I thought we were off in August, but we did 2 of them. Unless we had,
So we're gonna move it to
it might have been a
the second
special
week,
meeting, I'll look
third
really
week?
quick, but,
It's really up to you guys, because I'm looking for input.
it will be fine
As
in the
long as it's a
office.
Tuesday, it doesn't
Yeah.
matter. Okay. If it's first, second, third, or fourth one. As long as it's Tuesday.
Yeah.
I'm good with 1 and 1, or if we did the same as last year,
Yeah.
1 in July and 2 in
Well, I'm just saying, if you want to change the night of the meeting or whatever. So-
Oh, is that what you're saying?
Or you leave it as you don't do the July 1st.
Don't do the first one, do the third one.
Right,
Okay.
that's what we did last year.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, we did,
Or 15.
we had one on 7/16, then we had one on 8/6 and 8/20. So we had 2 in August.
So you want to skip the first one, 'cause that's a holiday week, and just have the July 15th, is that?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, 'cause
That's
it's
probably
holiday.
best,
It's
yeah.
holiday.
Yeah, that works.
Okay.
And that's what you did last year, you skipped the first one, and you did the second one.
See, Peter, you just did that on purpose because you knew I wasn't going to be here.
I was looking forward to running the meeting. I was gonna have punch and donuts, cookies,
Yeah, pepper cookies.
hot pepper sandwich.
Yeah.
All right, we don't need to vote on that, right? I don't think
No, I'll make the formal announcement.
so. All right, and the other thing we need input from the board on is, we talked to Ethan and Fred and others have been going through the T2 training for the parking. I'd like to get Fred approval to look at parking attendants. Two seasonal, see how it goes. Thoughts?
You said 2 positions that you do? We have one that is very interested right now too, which is nice, so that's a 19-year-old Washington graduate who is looking for some law enforcement law, so he's very interested in this time, so we have at least one that's interested right now.
Yeah, what would be nice is, and I know we're pushing it, but there's a meet, I think it's the 26th of this month. There's the big training on how to use the devices, so if we can actually get our hands on someone, it'd be nice to put them in there and have them part of the training.
Even
But
if
we'll
that's
see.
like an orientation day, they don't have to be like,
I would say pushing it fast, but it'd be nice to.
Well, what do we have to do from civil service perspective?
I just gotta ask them, because I think if it's a seasonal position, we can make a job description, it doesn't have to be anything, and they might even have something, who knows? I mean, they might have something from the past.
Yeah, we wanna work on that, because like you said, it's
Oh, that's
coming quick.
tomorrow.
We wanna
That you
initiate
do.
that stuff.
Is it?
Summer's gonna be here and gone before we know it.
Easier for them to go through.
said the
training
orientation
with
thing
the
is
guys that
tomorrow?
knows
It's
how to
20
do it.
something, 26.
Oh, I
Yeah.
guess
One
it's
of us
18.
or one,
Okay.
whoever.
Right.
It would be more effective to have somebody out there.
So you want 2? So you think we might have 1, so we can look for another
We're
one?
to the record, that one individual will be able to attend that, more than likely, I have to confirm with him, but we'll hopefully be able to attend that training. We know that there's no issues with him at this point, so preliminary background, we can get a candidate from what we all know.
What you guys need to decide on most importantly is what the pay would be.
Right, I was gonna say, then we got the deal.
Minimum wage
Like that
sta-
get paid.
I have no comparables to like Corning's traffic and stuff, and it's city parking enforcement. I think in our situation being so small, different.
Yeah, and the ones in Ithaca are union, so you.
Yeah, right, so everything's different, but
If a part-time officer did it, it's gonna be like $28 an hour.
Yeah,
What
no,
is
we
that,
can't
they're
do
making an
that.
hour, 25 or 20?
28.55.
So, yeah.
Well,
But that's,
Minimum.
we're not hoping to do that.
No, that's what I mean, is that there's a significant savings there by getting
15.
somebody else out and writing tickets.
16 bucks.
What do we pay seasonal people?
I mean, technically, it's an entry-level position with no
Right.
requirements, so it's.
What do we pay the
You
entry
gotta be
level
able to write tickets and
seasonal?
get yelled at.
it says here by Indeed, 16 to 23, well, we're not paying $23. I was thinking 17.
Yeah, that's.
Well, I would think that for our first year, we wanna keep it local, so we know what we're talking about, what our
Yeah, 'cause
figures
we don't
are.
know any numbers until we get this going.
Yeah, so it's like, don't shoot ourselves in the foot.
Right.
I think 17 bucks is pretty fair.
When our lowest ticket is 35, so,
After we
You
got
gotta-
through with that list.
yeah, you gotta write at least, maybe one ticket is 2 hours worth of work. If we look at it that way.
All right,
We don't get the full lot.
so we'll move in that direction.
All right.
We want to be ready to go.
So we're gonna put something up to get another one?
Yeah.
Because
You got one, and then we'll look for another one.
we're gonna look for another.
We got one suggested. I mean, he's gotta go through the process, he's gotta
Right.
fill out an application.
Right.
Scott, what are you paying the seasonal trimmers?
Depends on how long they've been there.
Between 16, first year 16.
I think that's where,
I think that's.
Yeah.
it's less requirements of training and the same thing, they're, those two
West
things.
of there.
Right, and they're just walking around.
I think maybe a pay scale for following years returning.
Yeah, that's what we do.
That was the other thing. That's the whole village, I know we're only 2 miles, but is that what the plan is gonna be, is that you're just gonna, because you're not gonna give them a car, and, or, so, are they gonna walk, or are we gonna bike, let them bike it, or?
Well, I thought there
Oh,
was,
this is a
truck.
walkable
These are
village.
important for the job description.
2010 Chevy truck for $7,500.
But I don't know, it's up to you guys, but I don't know.
I thought we were gonna get one of them side-by-sides.
Well, eventually, that would be a great idea. Yeah, eventually.
How are you gonna do that with traffic in the summer?
Yeah, you're gonna, they need to walk.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
What about the bikes? Don't you guys have a couple of bikes?
Got a ton in the
We
basement.
got lots of bikes downstairs.
There we go. Put them on a bike.
Yeah, but then you gotta go on and off a bike. I could see if they're going from here to Clute Park.
Well, see, that's the thing, is that.
For now, that's what he's doing.
Gotta figure out the
Give him
logistics.
the
'cause-
option, let him walk Main Street, and if he's gotta go down to Creek Park, he rides it.
But they
down.
are gonna have to, because the park has to be monitored unless you have,
So
unless
he
you
takes the bike down to Creek Park,
you
and
can
then he
take
walks
2
on that
people
way.
and split them up.
They didn't tune up, I would say, but they're nice, they're decent
You
bikes.
still got a couple police bikes.
So, and
Yeah.
didn't you
Well,
suggest?
let's worry about
That's what I
that,
was talking
let's cross
about.
that bridge when we
Was
get
it
there.
you, Ethan, or is the lawyer that suggested that if
The other
you put them
bikes.
in sections and then if they called, you guys could
But they
swing by
gotta have
and
some kind of
ride and
special
make
training.
sense?
Well, when I did parking enforcement as a part-time officer back in 2014, Decker said, get out there and hike it, and that's what I did. So-
Well, that makes
And
sense.
people like
Yeah.
to see those
Now,
guys
they-
walking around too.
Right, if they wanna ride to Clute Park, one of our guys can give them a ride to Clute Park if they want, hang there for an hour. Like, I don't think that, they can hoof it otherwise.
Yeah, you could assign them to certain areas and then they could send in their message on their device, whatever, that says pick me up, and somebody could come pick them up and drop them off in another spot for.
I think we're overthinking it, I think you go hoof it, and if you need a ride, the village people.
I'm with you, Ethan.
Yeah, yeah, it's-
Yeah, I mean, any of the village people can pick them up, they'd all be village employees.
Not everybody is Nan.
Well, that's a part of the job, including that you're gonna be out there in the rain.
Yeah.
Correct, there is, yes.
And I think before we go too far, we need to talk about the 2 village parking lots, because that's a broader discussion.
Right.
I've been getting some feedback on that a little bit.
Yeah, there's a whole
But
permitting.
there's enough just between Franklin and Clute Park and the boat launch.
I would say so.
For what, I don't understand the question.
For ticket,
For these 2 parking lots.
yeah, the 2 public parking lots, we gotta talk, that's a broader conversation.
And all this is still 2 hour all the way up through the 10th Street stuff, and so we did the electronic chalking, we're not allowed actual chalk like I did.
Right,
But those devices are capable of electronic chalking, so.
right.
There should be plenty to do to,
Oh, yeah.
I remember a busy day when I was doing 6-hour blocks in 2014. I could write 14, 16, 18 tickets a shift.
Oh,
And that was with minimal capabilities and stuff, is my point. And no pay to park, and no food park, like all that. That was just 2-hour parking in prohibited areas right here,
Down the
First
street.
Street.
that person could be busy. I think you should give me the machine, because that 10-minute spot,
It's hot.
people park
So you're
there
gonna get her going.
all
Her
day.
signs, she's gonna be standing out there, there's signs.
put the arrows.
I know.
Hey, Pete said he was
Drives me
already gonna
nuts.
paint the town, so.
I think a busy day of parking enforcement, I think you could write on a busy day upwards of 30 to 35 tickets.
I would guess.
6 to 8 hour period for one person.
With the new device.
Yeah,
I
I do.
Oh, yeah.
would agree.
And I think, well, no, but that's the winter time for us to do it. But yeah, I think we could, that's a possibility.
Okay.
I agree.
Any other board concerns, new business, do you have any lists or anything?
I had all kinds of stuff when I'm tired.
I'll take a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed, carried, thank you, good job.
Thanks, everyone. Thank you, guys. Have a good
Bye, guys.
evening.
Are you,
Have a good night, guys.
You too.
See ya.
Just
oh, I don't wanna use this green pen.
just, I can get that to her right away.
So what is, so I still can't find this truck, so what are we looking at?
The waste, where's the wastewater? Wastewater 2011.
That's it right there, Ford, that's 350 though.
Yeah, that's what they said it was, the 350.
No, they said it was a 250.
They did? Oh, well, I thought you said.
That might be a 350, it's a pretty big truck.
Yeah, because Scotty said 350 out loud. And it was
He
the one
did?
that was, yeah.
He said
350 for that 31,715. That was the original price.